Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash, and I am joined by the one and only Steve Miller, aka Miller Time. And we are here to talk to you guys about Super Bowl 57 happening tomorrow between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Steve, I know this is right there in your neck of the woods. The Super Bowl's in Arizona this year, so I know you're super pumped. I know you got started on the festivities a little early last night with the Super Bowl Dave Matthews concert. So is that like literally right outside the stadium then, or where did they have that?
So a lot of the stuff that's happening down here is in downtown Phoenix, and where the Super Bowl is being held in Glendale, which is probably a 20-minute drive from downtown Phoenix. But it's been a there's a lot of stuff going on, especially with the waste management, and there's a lot of different media passes that you can get throughout the week to be able to meet a lot of people. Got to meet Jerome Bettis and
awesome.
Emmett Smith, which was pretty cool. So I don't know. It only happens every so often, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think the last time it happened was 6 years ago or something like that. It's been a little
2015.
while. Yeah, 2015. So 8 years ago.
Yeah, when the Pats played the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's right. That was the game where Marshawn Lynch didn't get the ball at the 1 yard line, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Never forget that one.
No.
One of the most befuddling calls in NFL history for sure. So we have the Super Bowl happening tomorrow. Everybody's excited for that. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, first of all, if you would hit the like button on this video and then hit subscribe. And then once you've done those two things, hit the alarm bell. That will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. And then if you haven't joined DFS Coach Talk, it's a great time to join us. We have memberships that start as low as $3 for 3 days. So we would love to have you join us. And with that being said, Steve, let's go ahead and start breaking this thing down, starting with the quarterbacks. My initial builds, it looks like I'm trying to jam in both quarterbacks. Are you going to try and jam in both, or are you going to just go with your favorite one?
I mean, I would love to try to get both of them in there, and there's a possibility too, because there's a lot of people to throw back into your mix that are on the Chiefs, for instance, a lot of receivers. So, but yeah, I like both the quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah, it's just a quarterback matchup. Some Super Bowls you've got, like they were showing the other day the 2001 Ravens, and you had Trent Dilfer at quarterback, and you don't have those marquee quarterbacks sometimes in the Super Bowl. But in this matchup, I mean, it's as big as it gets. You've got the MVP and the runner-up, basically, for the Super Bowl. So this is the big moment for them, especially for Jalen Hurts. Him not having been to the Super Bowl before. This is his first one, and he's trying to establish himself just on the same level that Patrick Mahomes is at right now. So do you have a lean one way or the other? Which quarterback you prefer?
Eagles are a better team, but it's just he's a magical man. So I would probably go to Mahomes.
I'm sorry, what was that? I was having a hard time hearing you for a second.
Oh, I would do a slight edge on Mahomes. He's just he's just special. So I would take Mahomes over Hurts.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think I saw a stat where he's like 9-1 against the number 1 ranked pass defense or something like that. It's crazy. Usually, quarterbacks are going to struggle against those kind of defenses, but he's really been playing well regardless of the matchup. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to do more damage on the ground, than anything in this game. I think that, Mahomes is the one that has the capability. If anyone's going to put up, 300 or more passing yards, I definitely think it would be Mahomes. So my thought was, when I went and looked at my lineups, when I went with the two quarterbacks, do I think that Travis Kelce could score as many points as Jalen Hurts? Yeah, I do. But I also think it's more realistic that he doesn't. And there's just not a whole lot of, other than maybe a A.J. Brown, a lot of those other second tier players that are going to give you the same ceiling. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I was looking at the two quarterbacks, but it does make it pretty tough on the rest of your roster. So with that being said, we can go ahead and move on to the running backs. Well, first of all, let me go over some of the pricing on the quarterbacks because I didn't do that. So Jalen Hurts is actually a little bit more expensive than Mahomes on DraftKings. He's 16.8. Mahomes is 16.5 in the captain spot. And then Hurts is 11,200 in the flex. Patrick Mahomes is 11,000 in the flex. On Fanduel, Mahomes is a little bit more expensive. He's 17.5, and Jalen Hurts is 17,000. And then on Yahoo, Hurts is 41, and Mahomes is 37. So that's the pricing for the quarterbacks. Then we have the running backs, and you've got I'll just name them, and then we can go over it a little bit more. So you've got Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. Boston Scott could get some carries too for the Eagles, but Sanders and Gainwell should be the two main ones for the Eagles. And then for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon, which they've really leaned more towards Pacheco lately. So I think that will probably continue. But you never know. Andy Reid's got 2 weeks to prepare for this game, so he could be pulling out all kinds of stuff. So also Clyde Edwards-Helaire was activated, and I don't know how much they're going to use him, but they did activate him. So I'm assuming they're going to at least run him for a few plays. So between the Eagles and the Chiefs running backs, who's your favorite? Did you have, like
I like Miles Sanders in this one.
Okay.
So he's my favorite play. Really, as far as any players on the Eagles. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
I like Sanders.
Yeah. So are you going to possibly be looking because it is just a single game, so we have a little bit different format, than normal with the captain. So are you looking to maybe put him in a captain spot then, or?
I've dabbled around with it. I put him in the captain spot. I'm trying to keep Mahomes in that captain spot, but I do like Miles Sanders. The Chiefs haven't been really good against the run all year long. I know they've gotten more time to prepare for this, but just based off of the offensive line of the Eagles and just their running game and just how they grind things out, I think Miles Sanders will do really well tomorrow.
Yeah. I like Miles Sanders too. I have him in a few of the first touchdown, bets or whatever. So see if he gets that. I also think Pacheco, the way to attack the Eagles has been on the ground too. Their pass defense is really tough. I know Mahomes has been pretty much matchup proof against, pass defenses this year, but I do think Pacheco is going to be, my favorite running back in this game besides Sanders. And, I think Gainwell, he's been getting, quite a few carries and stuff too lately. So I do like him too. I think McKinnon, they'll use him in the passing game for some screenplays and stuff like that. But other than maybe some touchdowns, I don't know how many touches he's going to get in this game. Like I said, they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire back now, and they've really just been relying a lot more on Pacheco lately. So that is the running backs. For the prices, you've got Miles Sanders is 11,700 in the captain. Pacheco is 10.8 in the captain. Jerick McKinnon is 10.2. So he's kind of overpriced, McKinnon. He's almost as much as Pacheco for how they've been using him. And then you've got on FanDuel, Miles Sanders is 12,000. Pacheco is 10.5. McKinnon is 9,500. And then Gainwell is 8,500. On Yahoo, Sanders is $24. Gainwell is actually more than Pacheco. That's interesting. $18 for Gainwell, $17 on Yahoo for Pacheco, and $16 for McKinnon on Yahoo. So besides Sanders, they're all priced right in that same price range on Yahoo. That's pretty interesting. So then we have the wide receivers. Obviously you have AJ Brown is the standalone wideout, wide receiver one in this game. The Chiefs don't really even have a wide receiver one. They just kind of everybody. I mean, Travis Kelce's really their wide receiver one.
Yeah.
And then, so they should have all their guys back. I know that Juju Smith-Schuster and Kadarius Toney got hurt in the AFC Championship game, but they should be back. So who are you looking at on the wide receiver goes? Because it's really been kind of a guessing game. It's hard to know.
It is. I like the big playability of a Kadarius Toney. So I try to get him in my lineup. Juju Smith-Schuster, I don't know. I haven't been a huge fan for like the past couple of years, actually. And, since he has Mahomes, it becomes a different situation. But I like Kadarius Toney more than I like Juju Smith-Schuster for the Chiefs. And then as far as the Eagles go, I like both the receivers, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. They haven't been crazy good against the receiver either, the Chiefs. So but I like both those receivers as well.
Yeah, Devontae Smith has really been playing, better of the two of late. But I think that could flip around in this game. I could see this being a big game for AJ Brown. He could have, Jamar Chase has had some big games against the Chiefs. I know that he didn't have as big of a game as, the AFC Championship game, but in the past he's definitely had, some pretty nice games against them. So I could see AJ Brown having that kind of a game. And then, on the Chiefs, I think Kadarius Toney, he's going to give you probably the most bang for your buck because he's significantly cheaper than both Schuster and Scantling. Scantling is priced way up, just because of this last game, basically. If you look at what he's done on the season, he hasn't been that consistent. And I could see him letting a lot of people down because he was basically their only main wide receiver last game with all the injuries. So,
exactly.
Yeah. I could see him having like 2 catches for 50 yards or something like that. But, I don't think he's going to have a monster game by any means just because he's such a deep threat. So he catches one long pass and maybe a short one, and that's about it. But anyway, we can move on to the tight ends. You have, pretty big mismatch here. Dallas Goedert is a good tight end, though, but, Travis Kelce's obviously the best in the league. Kelce's 15.9 in the captain spot on DraftKings. Dallas Goedert is 9,600. In the flex, Kelce's 10.6 and Goddard is 6,400. Then on Yahoo or on Fanduel, Kelce's 14,000, Goddard's 10,000. And then on Yahoo, Kelce's 33 and Goddard is 19. So I'm not sure if, with the lineup that I have right now, the construction the way it is, I don't know if I'm going to have Kelce. I definitely think he will get 1 touchdown, but I don't know if he's going to have that monster game. The Eagles have been pretty good against tight ends this year. Are you going to have Kelce in your lineups, or are you going to be fading him?
I'm gonna have Kelce in. I'm definitely gonna have a lineup with Kelce in it.
Yeah.
Kelce's just such a big part of that offense, and everything kind of goes through Kelce. So I'm gonna have a lineup with Kelce in it. He's just one of those players. He's one of those players that gets in the end zone 3 or 4 times in the game. He's probably other than the quarterback, the next one projected to be the MVP of the game, I'm sure. So you just know his involvement's going to be significant.
Yeah. I'm looking up something here. What happened? All right. So yeah, I agree with you. And then what about Dallas Goedert? What do you think about him?
I like Dallas Goedert.
Okay.
You know,
All right, guys. Well, it looks like we did lose Steve, so I apologize for that. He was saying that he likes Dallas Goedert. And then as far as the defenses go, that's the last thing. We'll see if Steve comes back. Here we go. Oh, we lost you for a second.
yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, I like Dallas Goedert. You know, he's a big part of that offense as well. It's I'm wondering if the lines are going to be where they're going to be, or you know, what's the line? 50.5 is the over under in this game.
Is that the over? Yeah, I think you're right. Let me check something real quick here. $51 is the over under right now, and the Eagles are favored by 1.5.
Oh wow, that's a lot of points. It's a lot of yards.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. So, yeah, yeah, I like Goddard too. I definitely think both he and Kelsey, could both get a touchdown. So if you need some salary savings, you could definitely get it, with Goddard for sure. So, and then as far as the defenses go, both teams have really good offensive lines. I think that the Eagles obviously have the better offensive line of the two, but they're both really solid. I don't think this is going to be like that Tampa Bay game, a couple of years ago where Mahomes was just running for his life the whole game. But I do think the Eagles will get some pressure on him for sure, especially, with him not being 100% with that sprained ankle. Although I do think after 2 weeks, it's, it should be a little bit better situation for him as far as that ankle goes. So between the two defenses, you look at the Eagles defense. I think that's going to be pretty chalky. But is that you're leaning toward?
Yeah, I'm not
a defense.
I'm staying away from the defenses. I think there is going to be a lot of points scored, and I don't see many turnovers happening either. So I'm going to stay away from the defenses in this one.
Yeah, I think I am too. And actually leads us into the next position, which is kickers. I actually think the kickers are going to be, pretty decent in this game. Harrison Butker has had double digits in his last, I think, 3 games. So that could get you something similar to what, one of the running backs or receivers could get you. So as far as point totals. So I think that, the kickers are viable here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think Harrison Butker, I'm going to be going with Harrison Butker instead of a defense. He's a little bit more expensive than the defenses are, but not a whole lot more. He's 6,000 in the captain spot. The Eagles defense, for example, is 5,400. So, just a few hundred more bucks and you can make it work. So, yeah. And then they're not on Yahoo at all. So you don't get to use the kickers there. But would you lean with Butker over Elliott or?
Yeah, I like Butker. I like just how that offense is put together. Usually always before the half, they can get down there in 10 seconds to kick that field goal. They're a high explosive offense, so Butker can benefit from that, and he will.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that leads us to our predictions. We both had one team, we picked last week, made it. You had the Eagles and Bengals, and I had the 49ers and Chiefs. So go ahead and give us your Super Bowl prediction and your Super Bowl MVP.
I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So Chiefs are going to win.
Score?
My score is going to be 31-27.
Okay. And your MVP is Mahomes.
Yep.
Okay. I am going with a similar score. I'm going with the Chiefs 33, the Eagles 30, and my MVP is also Mahomes. So we will see how we land on that. And then for Prize Picks, they do have a Mahomes free square play. So all he needs is more than 0.5 passing yards. So that's why they call it a free square. And that promo actually ends tonight at midnight. So you definitely don't want to wait till the last minute tomorrow, or you won't be able to get that play in. But if you get it in before 11:59 Eastern tonight, then you can use that Mahomes free square. I believe it's up to $20 that you can play on it. And then I also like Kenneth Gainwell more than 19.5 rushing yards. And they have Jason and Travis Kelce on one play, believe it or not, but it's more than 0.5 rushing and receiving touchdowns. So I do think Travis Kelce will get a touchdown. Maybe they're thinking that the Eagles will have a Philly special type play or something with Jason Kelly here, and he's going to get a receiving touchdown. I don't know. It's pretty crazy that he's even on there. But they did that Kelce brothers prop bet. So I do think that, Travis will get a touchdown for sure. So those will be the 3 Prizepicks plays that I like. And I believe that is going to do it, unless you have anything else you wanted to add.
Nope, I'm good, man.
Okay. Well, it's been a lot of fun this year. We've got 7 months, I guess, before we'll be doing another podcast. So it'll be a while, but hope you have a good spring and summer and everything until then, and enjoyed this first year doing podcasts with you for the NFL. Hope everybody enjoys the Super Bowl. Hopefully it's another classic, another close game. And we'll be back again next year when we look to crush it in NFL, DFS, and Prizepicks. Thank you.